Hey everybody, Julie Murphy here. And after 25 plus years of being a financial planner, I've definitely learned that we either work things out or we act it out, and we do it through our money, through our health, and through our relationships. And I today want to share um, how to trust your own timing. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and notification bell. Why? Because I'm going to help you get to a life that you absolutely love. For better or for worse, I'm extremely authentic, extremely direct, and extremely out in the open. Why? Because that's my freak flag, and that's what I want to fly out in the world. Because when it comes to money, we don't open up enough to talk about these patterns that we do financially all over the world. And if we're not trusting ourselves, who are we trusting? Right? You know, I had a recent event that I want to share, and it has to do with I had the opportunity to double the size of my company. Total great alignment, especially those of you who are really in tune with the law of attraction and a holistic mindset and view of the world. I really believe that synchronicities actually line up. Deepak Chopra actually wrote a book about it, about synchrodestiny. It was one of the first ones that I actually attended at the Chopra Center years ago, and I started to realize that we work things out and we act it out through our money and through our health. This is where I made the health and money correlation. And what I came to realize when I was doing this work with Deepak, that there are these synchronicities to life. And the question is do you trust when these things show up and align with you? Or do you so they show up, so you've decided to dream the dream. You've decided that you've put out your intentions of what you want to create the world. You've set down your goals, your priorities, you've done all that. And then it shows up. And you see it and you're kind of like, okay, there it is. That's what I asked for. But there's something wrong with it. And then our monkey mind. So we went from here in our intuitive knowing, and then we go up to here. And then we negotiate ourselves away. And we start to find out like all the reasons, not find out, but choose to believe a story as to why something turns out or doesn't turn out the way that it does. If we can detach from why something shows up, because it may not be the outcome that you think. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that I'm going to give you an example because I believe that we can really connect on a deep level if we share stories and examples. That's why I'm starting to do more lives that thrive. I want to talk to people who are actually changing and shifting and really stepping into their authenticity and how they're financially bridging there to do that. Because I find that if you see that somebody else can do it, you can do it, right? And so I had this recent event where I had set the intention that I wanted to build out more financial planners because there's more people out there that need help. And it's not necessarily people that I have to train from scratch, but people who already know the business, already know being a financial planner and what does it mean. And they've taken the tests and the certifications and they're on that boat. So I set that intention at the end of last quarter, that, all right, I need more of these. So because the work I'm doing in the world is expanding and I need other people to help me help other people. They started showing up. And then all of a sudden I had this opportunity that showed up right around my birthday and had the first call with this business owner on my birthday, actually. And it was an opportunity to buy a book of business that actually was bigger than mine. And it was so interesting. I do this work all the time, and I know how to show up for a business financial meeting. And I'm human too. And what happens in the process when an opportunity comes to us, first we have to say, oh, that's an alignment. And then you have to take the practical action steps to actually start to manifest that in the world. So I started to take those practical action steps, what's very normal. I had a mentor tell me one time, get married slowly and divorced quickly. And that kept sticking in my head. So that didn't just pop in for a reason either, right? Like just popped in. And so then what started to happen is this person had an incredible sense of urgency to get their business deal done because they had some fall through and they wanted it done. Great. That's perfect for that person. But it didn't necessarily match my timing. So this is where I was put to the test of how to trust my own timing. So what occurred was, as I was going into this business endeavor, we were kind of showing each other's businesses. Saw the financial statements, I shared my financials, and the dance started to happen, right? You guys have all had opportunities like that, right? And I talk about, in my book, The Emotion Behind Money, I talk about this all the time in my book or my workbook, that when we go into any state of expansion, whether it's like me buying this new business and doubling the size of my firm, or what it's a new job and a new job offering, or you're deciding that you don't want to be in the job and the career that you've been in and you're going to jump ship and go somewhere else, we kind of got a little emotion that comes up behind our money. And guys, I teach this because I've been there, done that, right? And so what starts to happen is when you have somebody that has a different sense of urgency than you do, is you wind up with a push energy. So I would call this the masculine energy. It's the energy of the mind. And the energy of the mind, push, 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 that's actually the old model of how consciousness has been. And so it's about the fact that we have to start with our heart these days and then add our smarts, because the mind is extremely important. But if we're not filtering it through our own heart first, you are absolutely on some level highly likely statistically to negotiate yourself away. Meaning, what I always like to say is you've left your heart on the sidelines. Like you kind of forgot. I see this happen so many times. I talk about that people are in different categories. They're the poor, the debtors, dreamers, the accumulators, and rich but empty. Anyone who's the poor, debtor, dreamers, or accumulators, they always think I work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, hard. We're going on that line. And then when I become independently wealthy, then everything will be okay. And I'm here to tell you, I work with all those people who have multi-millions, 10 million, 100 million, 300 million. I've worked with those people. Guess what? That prize is not there once you get the financials in alignment if you left your heart on the sidelines because you negotiated yourself away of other things that were important to you along the path. And this is where we need to start to embody what I call real wealth. Embodying real wealth is having a profound sense of joy, a profound sense of freedom, a profound sense of choosing what I want to do day in and day out to live the life that I came here to live. And many of us feel trapped. We feel like we're in this place of entrapment. I started to realize, why do we not trust our own knowing when it comes to finance? You know what I came up with? It was really interesting. I started to map it out. So there's the people who aren't the benefactors of large trust funds or trust funds that other people left money for us, or you built your own and you have this big nest egg. And then there's the people that who haven't, and they're income fluent, and you're working hard, you're doing your thing. And so there's these two buckets, and this bucket feels like this bucket's made it and they're good and they wish they could be over there. But both of them live a life of entrapment because they did not trust themselves along the way. And this is why I'm doing things like giving my book away, Awaken Your Wealth book, for free. And you just have to actually pay for the shipping, because I want people to get to this profound sense of freedom because we deserve it. Our debt structures are another thing where we don't trust our own timing. We don't trust our intuition when it comes to money. And so I need us to start to build that muscle of trusting your own timing, because you're not going to miss out. Anything that is meant for you is not going to miss you. Anything. So let's go back to the example of me in this business opportunity. So all along, as I started to like pause because there was such this profound push to getting the thing done and by a certain time period and boom, 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 boom. And I was like, you know, what's wrong? Like what? And so I started to go like my not enough button started to get pressed because the hard wiring that happened in my subconscious mind before I was 7 years old, which all of us have one of those, is that I'm not enough. So I always try to prove that I was enough. And I was like, this little fucker's up again to be healed. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm enough. I've already got a really successful business and I'm enough. And you know what? I would love to double my business. It's a fabulous opportunity. But I'm going to trust my own timing and I'm not going to let the sales process that the other business owner was coming at me with to sell me into something that wasn't in alignment with my heart and soul. There were so many synchronicities on this entire business structure. It was almost eerie how many synchronicities there were. But what wasn't honored in the process was that I had to go through my own due diligence to make sure that I was paying for something that actually was sustainable. Because when you buy a business, you're buying the future income. So let's play this out. So if I didn't trust my own timing in this process, what would have happened? I would have overpaid for the business. I then would have had a multi-million-dollar debt that I would spend the next decade paying off. So I was taking on somebody else's burden and their sense of urgency for what they wanted for their life. And it could have been great for my life, but it needed to be in right relationship. And as I stepped more and more into me trusting my own timing, the other party got more and more feisty, got more and more push energy because of their own fear, their own distractions in their own life, that everything wasn't going to fall into alignment. And so we have to go back to trusting our own timing and trusting how everything is supposed to line up. And so when we look at this, like for me, what's important for me is that I want collaborative relationships anymore. I don't want any more hooray for you and screw me relationships. I'm done with those. I have been a huge giver my entire life, and I know each one of those individuals were brought into my life for me to learn to hold healthy financial boundaries for myself. And today, I've built those muscles. So I want you guys to start to love yourself enough to build your own muscles and trust your own timing, because otherwise, you will have regrets. And most of us have negotiated ourselves away, and we haven't built those muscles yet to trust our own timing and to trust our own intuition, particularly when it comes to money. Because when you don't trust your own knowing on your own timing financially, what starts to happen is disease will develop in your body or breakdowns in your relationships will happen. So trust yourself, trust your knowing, and even if you don't really know, that's an answer. It means don't step forward into that, whatever that is, because it doesn't have to be a knee-jerk reaction. It doesn't have to be huge anxieties. It just has to be that it's not super clear and you're kind of like, Like as this woman kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me, I just stood more in my power going, yeah, this is all still great. I am absolutely on board, but I'm not on board if I have to negotiate myself away in the process. And it's okay for us all individually to step into our power because that way we raise the grid for everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and that notification bell. And here's the link again to get awakenyourwealthbook.com. I will pay for the book printing and everything. You pay for the shipping, and we'll get you to a life that you love. And if you want an individual financial appointment, I have a whole team of advisors here at JMC Wealth Management. Just send an email to info@jmcwealth.com. We do consulting appointments to help you along your journey, and have a great day. And remember to create a life that you love because it's super important to your overall health long term. Thanks, everybody.